Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery Center. This is our coffee and conversation meeting for the day. An article I have here is Acceptance in Recovery, Learning Why Change is Important. And this article is by discoverynj.org. So arguably, one of the most challenging aspects of addiction recovery is the immense lifestyle changes and the individual must attain to reap the rewards of sobriety. Change is never easy, but it seems to never come when we are prepared. But change from recovering individuals may be even more difficult because they are aware that these changes must be made and purposefully must take action to make sure of said changes. Those who seek to live a successful and profitable life must learn acceptance and recovery before they make dedication to sobriety. And that's one of the principles of recovery is acceptance. And if we don't come to surrendering to accept the lifestyle that we lived and the things that we've done, we're going to have struggle in this process of recovery. It talks about it's not easy, but it must be done. Some of the principles that we're taught in recovery, like they have to apply to all areas of our life. Not just recovery, but life in general. We have to apply these principles, and acceptance is a really big one. And learning why change is important. I learned I put the drugs and alcohol down, but I have to change my attitudes, my behaviors, the way I think. Right, there's my attitude towards myself and towards others. So it's a big picture of have to change like every aspect of our lives, not just putting down drugs and alcohol. Yes, that is a major one, but like there's many other aspects that we have to change, and applying some of these principles is very important. So let's see here. It says, why is change important? A big hurdle for individuals in treatment is finding acceptance and recovery. When individuals cannot accept the process of change throughout addiction treatment, they are less likely to gain the healing and open up to the knowledge they need to learn throughout treatment. Without change, an individual in treatment is held back, which is why it's important for them to see the need for change. Some reasons why individuals have difficulty finding acceptance and recovery include they simply do not see the need for change. Therefore, they do not wish to change. They are afraid of the unknown that change brings to life. That was a big one for me. They would rather not change and stick with that what they know than gamble with change. The change proposed does not seem comforting to the individual. They have an automatic negative reaction to change because they are opposed to other demands. These are really some really good ones here. And it talks about uh, staying in a day-to-day process of using and causing harm and causing chaos and causing conflict. It seemed like it was easier. Well, I thought was easier than change, right? The thought of the unknown, like what is my life going to be without drugs and alcohol? You know, like I couldn't see my life changing and me accepting the things I've done. You know, it was really tough for me. Because that's all I knew from a young age. It was the conscious chaos of using and causing harm and causing conflict and going to jail, going to treatment, and this was this vicious circle. And I was very delusional. Like the substance made me delusional, right? It stuck me in denial, guilt, shame, remorse, resentful. Um, and that kept me back. I wasn't willing, like we talked about, accept and surrender and let go and ask for help. Sometimes I would ask for help, but I would tell the help to how to help me, and it just doesn't work that way. But yeah, this one here says they are afraid of the unknown that change brings to life. Now it stays true for me. You know, says the benefits for finding acceptance and recovery. Sure, change is unknown territory, but is the unknown always a bad thing? Life is constantly moving and changing. Change is the way of the world and part of each life. If a person never changed, they would remain the same their whole lives and never grow or learn. Change is necessary to receive and benefit to life. And the same goes for addiction recovery. If an individual does not learn to embrace change recovery brings, they are setting themselves up for immediate failure. But for those who do understand and embrace change and treatment, the benefits are plentiful. Change throughout recovery is important because addictive behaviors need to change to become successful throughout sobriety. Addiction recovery is a process and not a switch that is flipped. It takes growth and development to discover the benefits of recovery. Staying in one place does not encourage learning of knowledge needed for successful recovery. The lifestyle of addiction is a cycle that must be broken through change. Without change, and a person is doomed to remain within the cycle of addiction. Yeah, we talk about like the revolving door. My life consists of jails and tuition, and ultimately it was death. I was knocking on death's door, and I was just doing the same things. I wasn't willing to change. I wasn't willing to do something different. I wasn't willing to listen. You hear I say I wasn't willing, so I have to be willing to do something different. I had to be getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I wasn't comfortable with who I was, right? I was full of self pity. I felt inadequate, low self esteem, right? A lot of negative self talk. I can't, I won't, right? The things that I speak can speak life, right? I can speak life into things. And that's what I did. I said a lot of things, and that's what I remained that kept on doing this vicious circle of addiction. I didn't know how to break it. I didn't know how to get out of the loop. And it just took me many, many years to get where I'm at today. But like change is a must, right? We have to change. We have to grow. We have to do something different, right? I know for me, I can't come into recovery, stop using drugs and alcohol, and remain the same. It just doesn't work that way for me anyway. So I had to like open my mind, open my ears, sometimes shut my mouth, right? Um, and just listen and take suggestions and take direction. Get out of my own way, which is hard. It is hard because we come in selfless or selfish, self-centered, right? All about me and what I want when I want it. To break that down, it takes time. Recovery is a process. I try to do the opposite: be selfless, be more kind, more loving, more caring, put others first. Put myself on the back burner for a while, right? Listening without judgment. Um, it's needed. I have to do these things to continue to stay in the process of recovery. I have to get out of my own way and have to keep on working on myself on a daily basis to remain in recovery. Let's see here. It says how to embrace change throughout recovery. Individuals who may fear change throughout recovery must first understand the importance of change so that they are more willing to adapt to it. Fortunately, individuals with a fear of change can learn to accept change so that they can benefit from it. It says, accept that change is a vital part of recovery process before even enrolling in addiction treatment. This will set you up for successful from day to day. It says, work on self-esteem throughout recovery so that you are more encouraged by the potential benefits that change may bring. Self-esteem exercises may include yoga, individualized therapy, and meditation exercises. It says express your thoughts and worries about change that recovery brings to yourself in within form. Expression is key to the acceptance of change. And it says realize that the past equals addiction and that your decision to walk down the path of recovery is walking away from the consequences of those addictive behaviors. Once you are open to change, you are open to leaving your addiction in the past. And that's the goal, leaving the addiction in the past. And we all you can reminisce on the past or like always the thought of the past, but we don't stay stuck in the past. I've learned that the past doesn't define who I am today, right? I always have some of the thoughts, right, and negative feelings that come with it, but I don't stay stuck there, right? I don't let my emotions and feelings run wild and let me uh, ruin my day or become miserable because of my past. And it did talk about like self-esteem and stuff like that. I mean, that's a vital part of working on our self-esteem. Um, because if we're not okay, we're just not okay with the world. So I have to first be very selfish in early recovery, right? Um, I had to watch how I say that. You're talking about selfish, right? But it's in a good way, right? We have to work on. I'm talking about selfish as working on ourselves, right? Recovery must come first. We have to put recovery first, right? If we don't put recovery first, we shall lose it eventually. So we have to really um, put our recovery first, and that's part of like self care, right? Working on ourselves, seeing why I use drugs and alcohol in the first place, why do I act this way, right? Taking a nice inventory on myself and see what's really going on, like a self assessment. What's really going on? Some self reflection, and that's working on ourself in recovery, is doing a self assessment and self reflection and getting to the root of the problem. But we can do that any given day, any given time throughout the day, which is beneficial. Right? We can step back, reflect, and see and assess the situation before I say something or do something stupid. And I got other people in my network that I can call and run things by. So let's see here. Tips for finding acceptance and recovery. It's most common for people to make changes in their lives once it's completely necessary. Change can be scary, and accepting change in life often means some discomfort. Most people yearn from a safe and comfortable feeling, but in many cases, getting out of the comfort zone brings about growth. Comfort revolves around maintaining habits. Humans tend to be creatures of habit, which means when we try to make change happen, it feels as if we are going against human instincts. Fortunately, we have capable of reprogramming, overriding habits. The following tips can help with acceptance and recovery and accepting change in life. So it talks about we're humans, are creatures of habits, like routine. We like repetition, same stuff day in, day out, right? If we stay in that circle, right, we're not going to be changing or growing. So we have to step out and do things different, right? I had to do something different when I got here in the process of recovery, right? I couldn't do the same things. I couldn't hang around same people, places, and things, right? I couldn't act my behaviors, my attitudes, and the way I thought. I had to all change, right? I had to let go of that person and then behaviors so I could stay in recovery. You know, these things you have to do, right? Some things are suggested and some things are, uh, you know, told to you to, change. But these things that we talk about, you have to do to continue the process of recovery. Let's see here. It says, start with intention. Finding acceptance and recovery starts with a shift in mindset to deal with or to interact change. You should stand by the idea that recovery is your chosen action. Through it sounds clinchy. Create an intention and support it. Accepting change in life is a tool that will be useful throughout the entirety of your life. Life is filled with change, and the feelings that come with change are only temporary. Yep. So I've learned that feelings are just temporary. You know, today I'm feeling angry, upset, emotional, right? In a couple hours, even tomorrow, I'm going to be totally different. So emotions and feelings are temporary, right? But we can make it permanent if we act out, right? We can do something stupid. We can say something stupid, right? And make a temporary feeling into a permanent situation, and if we act out on our negative thoughts and act out on our behaviors that we're used to in addiction, right? And we ain't willing to change our mindset in the way we act, in the way we say things and do things, we can get ourselves in some trouble. We can get jammed up. It says when you make an intention to find acceptance and recovery, be it definite, vague intentions are difficult to commit to. Look at the greater picture and understand why you are committing to the treatment. It says the next one is find motivation. Each of us find motivation in different areas of our life. Intentions can get us started and can help us align with our goals. Without sufficient motivation, we may find ourselves moving off track in terms of goals. Motivation must come from within, encourages us to meet our goals. In treatment, you may find motivation in your peers overcoming challenges through one-on-one therapy sessions. Wherever it may be, motivation can help when accepting change in life, when you can come to and understand that change you are experiencing is for the greater good of yourself and your health. Acceptance and recovery becomes easier. Yeah, the more you practice, the more you do things, the more you get better at them, the more motivated you are. I've seen that through my own personal experiences, right? The longer I stayed clean, the more I did things in recovery, right? I started to build my self-esteem and build my character. And we have a lot of assets, right? I thought I was full of defects. I didn't think I had any assets, right? I didn't have self-motivation um, because I was full of a lot of, you know, defects that were, killing me slowly. And I didn't know how to break that, until I came into recovery and asked other recovering addicts how to help me, how to stay clean. And they showed me, they showed me what they did or they suggested what I could do. And I just followed the path. I picked up some of their new habits and changing my people, places, and things, right? And leaving the past to where it's at. And, self motivation that it drove me to stay here. I can do this, and I've seen that just through other recovering addicts and some of my peers and some people that I worked with and people in recovery through my family and friends and gave me the encouragement to keep on, staying in sobriety and doing good things in life. The encouragement that I have from everyone gave me some self motivation to keep staying here and keep doing the right thing for the right reason. The last one here says, know where you stand. Why is change important? Embracing change and acceptance and recovery is not an easy task. Pride yourself on the progress that you make, but do not beat yourself up if you are having difficulty accepting change in life and recovery. Understanding how humans interact with change can help you during the recovery process. It says in the 1997 American Journal of Health Promotion released a 6-stage model that explains the process of change and acceptance. So it says know where you stand and why is change important. And it says embracing change, acceptance, and recovery is not an easy task, and it's not, right? But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Just like anything else, right? The more you do it, the more you practice, the more you build your character and your self-esteem and changing your mindset and changing your environment and the people that you hang around with, It's a combination of everything. I can't just pick and choose or just do this and not do that, right? I'm trying to have long lasting sobriety, right? I want to stay here. I just don't want to come here and put drugs and alcohol down and be that same person that I was, right? I want to stay in the process of recovery. And I do something for my recovery on a daily basis. Not just my recovery, but other people that I help in recovery too. Get out of my own way, right? Because we all have things going on, right? We all get a turn here. We all go through deaths, loss of loved ones, you know, losing this, losing that, and things. Just we talk about life on life terms, and it's an uncomfortable. There's a lot of things in life that are uncomfortable, right? Because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions and feelings with drugs and without drugs, right? So I had to come here and change everything, and that can be I was full of fear because like I put this wall up, like I had a lot of stuff going on. Like, how am I going to amend these relationships? How am I going to uh, take care of all my legal issues? Who do I owe money to? Right? Do I have warrants? Like, it was a lot of things, and it's facts. It was factual. These things were legit, right? But if I didn't break these things one thing by one, like if I just wasn't willing to put the work in to take care of this stuff, I was going to stay in an active addiction, right? I thought it was more comfortable staying there than changing and doing, putting some work in and taking care of my legal issues and then in these relationships. Like, I was just on this hamster wheel doing the same thing over and over and over again. So until I broke that illusion that I can get clean and stay clean and have a good life and have some self-esteem and had some self-motivation, some encouragement. I continue to keep on changing and growing on a daily basis. So that was our coffee and conversation meeting for today, and it was acceptance and recovery, learning why change is important. Change is uncomfortable, but it's very important. And listen, anybody is open to change and they can do it. It's just how much do you want it, right? So my name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Until I see you next time, see you later.